data can be stored in Indian server?
Yes. Let's say that ki data, like say ki Google in India, so it stores its means it stores data of our country on its own server outside the country. So for data safety, security, there is change in the sense ki demand at international level also, national level also, that ki no, such companies should locally, let's say, store data, like say Indian data should be stored in India on Indian server. So this is called data localization. That will give you certain level of sovereignty and autonomy and control on data. Further, it is a good development if you study in case of GS papers. So I guess ki either a question was asked in paper 1 or we have been expecting a question in that way. Somehow we have asked 2-3 years back a question in GS test paper 1. Right, in the context of society. Faintly I remember, means ki the only thing I know about data localization, ki our discussion with our team when we were framing the questions on data localization. I have not also studied more on that. But we know that ki I am aware that ki yes, data localization is one such development which is linked to localism. This.
What is ultra-localism?
Right. Ultra-localism is that ki when you have so many or too many institutions in delivery of urban civic services. Just let's take solid waste management. So in past there used to be a government organization, a government department which would be responsible for solid waste management. Then now what we have done is that we have gone for localism, means institutional pluralism. Institutional pluralism means area-wise it has been divided. This solid waste management. So there will be so many, let's say, that institution. It can be 2, 3, 4, means more than that. This has been done for competition. There should be competition among them. Similarly, if you say that ki bus, right, this bus rapid transit system. So in past there was only one, let's say that, 1 or 2 players in that sector. Nowadays you will find that ki area wise it has been divided. So area wise you will find that ki different agencies or different organizations, they have their buses, or let's say that ki it is called something, उसका एक पर्टिकुलर नाम होता है ट्रांसपोर्टेशन में. The area wise bidding is done, and then a particular, let's say that ki group, or you can say particular group or entity is given the contract for running buses in that area. So this has been done to promote more and more competition. But then when you promote institutional pluralism, so then it results into also institutional jungle or problem of coordination or one city approach. It affects one city approach. So this ultra-localism is also practiced in other countries. It can be US, UK. It has become a new characteristics of urban local governance, ultra-localism. So let's take UK. Its origin is from UK in its contemporary times, and so Tony Blair government first tenure. So a special initiative was taken. Managerial devolution. So, न्यू लोकलिज्म वाई इट इज नोन एज, इसका एक कॉन्टेक्स्ट है. कॉन्टेक्स्ट ये है कि दिस इज कॉल्ड ओल्ड लोकलिज्म, देन इट बिकेम न्यू लोकलिज्म. द नेम इट केम बाय दिस. सो basically when the government came, so the concern was that ki how they can enhance performance at local level. It is a concern that ki how we can enhance our performance is how local agencies can perform. The local agency, let's say ki national, right, state or whatever, local. So in the UK, local means not only elected bodies. This is another, let's say that difference. Local is that, let's say that it is called even education department, health department. It can be also a local elected body, elected local body. It can be transportation. This. It can be civil administration. So they are concerned not only what we are concerned. This also you have to understand what we are trying to do. So we are trying to national, state, local. Local means elected in our country, elected bodies. And what we want to do? We want to shift power, means concentrate power by devolving power to local bodies. And we are trying to pool, let's say, powers, means other departments' power in local bodies. This we are trying to do. So that we can govern through local bodies. Right. So, local bodies, as we told that, let's say district council. What we want, under district council, everything should function. Under district council, everything should function. It can be, let's say, district magistrate, it can be SP, it can be health department, etc. Right. We are still not talking on how this health department should function. वहाँ तो फोकस ही नहीं है हमारा. Right. हमारा फोकस क्या है कि if we are able to create district council which is elected body, hence problem is solved. Right. But whether the health department at district level, whether that health department is functionally, let's say that efficient. What is the problem of health department at district level? Should the health department be given autonomy? Should not be given autonomy? Should be run in a bureaucratic way? Not in bureaucratic way? This focus is not there. Our focus is to give, our focus is at mayor level. Mayor should be directly elected. Once we elect the mayor directly, then all other departments will come under mayor, and therefore all department will work properly. This is how we presume. But then the housing department, whether the housing department would be run in a bureaucratic manner or in a managerial manner, that debate is not there. New localism, our localism is debate about this aspect. It is not about this local elected body only. Hence, they started focusing on devolving power. The power should devolve from this to national level, to elected body also, which they have done. At the same time, education department should also be, let's say that given power, health department should also be. But in old localism, what they did is that they set, let's say that here objectives were set at national level. And the objectives set at national level, and they try to achieve at local level, for which in the national department some officials were designated especially for implementation of this scheme, this initiative. Right. Like say health commissioner, and then these institutions were rated on the basis of their performance. Since it was a bureaucratic exercise, they were not given autonomy, therefore it failed. Right. Similar to what we had community development program, and community development program and bureaucratization, so it failed. We also created block development officer and district development officer. Thereafter, what we started doing is that we started democratic decentralization. We started shifting power in the hand of elected bodies. But what they started giving them managerial autonomy. Right. Managerial powers. They started giving them NPM. What is that NPM? So, health department, education department, others, they are given managerial autonomy, means they should adopt managerial style of functioning rather than bureaucratic style of functioning. Means the organization should be run on professional basis. This. How professional basis? They are given autonomy in terms of human resource management. So they are given autonomy in terms of human resource management. What human resource management? They can hire, they can fire, they can defer payment, remuneration, to their staff. Yes, this autonomy. Then it is a kind of board type of governance. The organization should be run, right, through board. Right. Board is board of directors that you say. Means decision making should be collective. The way it happens in company. The board type of decision making is, let's introduce, and in that board type decision making, let's say that members. The members can be from, let's say that inside organization plus outside. In outside, you can have this elected representatives, or you can have civil society members. Civil society members. And then they can raise their funds from local sources. Financial autonomy. So it is not privatization, but incorporation of NPM in a democratic manner. Right. Democratic is that still, let's say that they have public service responsibility, there is participation of elected representatives, participation of people, participation of stakeholders in that local area, in that area, at the same time participation of civil society. Means in the management of health department, health body at local level, they will incorporate local participation. They will bring local participation. Local participation is not only related to elected representatives. At local level, the stakeholders, whoever the stakeholders, including civil society. So the greater participation, managerial autonomy they have been given in running that, means they are given powers to take some decisions related to management of the health department. Like deferring the payment of their employees, staff, hiring some of the contractual staff, firing those contractual staff, this kind of thing. So that, let's say that system was introduced. This system came to be known as civil renewal. Civil renewal means it is a new way of participation of people in the management of health services at local level, and it became very successful. Basically, health and education in UK became very successful at local level due to new localism. And then this is how the new localism emerged as a concept, and then it has spread to different parts of the world. Be it US, be it other countries, be it, let's say, India. In fact, a book has been written, New Localism name, the same title, New Localism. And the authors, the two authors, I will tell their name. One is Kaj and Novak. So they say that new localism is a 21st century way of governance. Means when it has been asked that how you will define new localism, they say that it is 21st century way of governance. What is that? So it is about giving managerial autonomy and local participation. Right. Objectives are still set at national level. What are the objectives that we have to achieve? And those objectives, to achieve those objectives, autonomy is given. It is a kind of top-down budgeting also you will find. In top-down budgeting, it happened that objectives are set at national level, achieve that. So this is what we will find that it is like achieving the national objectives by managerial devolution of power. Hence, new localism is about not political devolution of power, rather it is managerial devolution of powers to achieve objectives set at national level, at local level. Right. Are you able to understand?
What is the difference between political devolution and managerial devolution?
Yes. पॉलिटिकल डेवोल्यूशन इज कि इलेक्टेड बॉडी को आप सारा पावर्स दे रहे हैं, Right. But they are still run in a bureaucratic manner. Right. Bureaucratic means they do not have autonomy to run their own organization. Health department, district health department, it does not have autonomy to run its own organization. And if it is running at all, so it is a bureaucratic manner because let's say that the staff, means employees, they are appointed through certain mechanism and they cannot be fired, they cannot be punished. Decision is taken by one person. There is a hierarchical relationship. So this is bureaucratic. Managerial it is more about professional way of running that organization. And professional demands you should have some certain level of autonomy. Like say you can fire some of the staff. If someone is not performing, so you can defer the payment. Or you can have some contractual staff. This kind of practice. Plus local participation. So in health, running of hospital, there is no local participation. If you say district health, the district health is run in a bureaucratic manner. There is no local representatives participation in decision making.
You said it is antithetical or diminishing the role of local self-governance.
Not it is antithetical.
By elected bodies.
No. It is not antithetical. Rather, let's say you need to understand that it is about how to run a particular organization efficiently at local level.
So in a way it is diminishing the role of elected bodies.
No, it is not diminishing the role of elected bodies because they have their own role overall. Elected body का role ये नहीं है hospital को run करना. Elected body का role नहीं है कि health education school run करना. Isn't it?
So we are saying that new is that powers are given to them.
Try to understand. Let's take municipal corporation. Okay. So what municipal corporation, do you think municipal corporation itself runs schools? No. Rather it exercises control on running its own schools. To run a school it will have education department. So education department will come under municipal corporation. But municipal corporation itself is not running that school. These two different aspects you have to understand. Municipal corporation itself is not running. So, like let's take understand the relation between UPSC and government. The government is not running UPSC. UPSC is a separate organization, but it comes under Ministry of Personnel. Ministry of Personnel is concerned about its own department. But UPSC is an autonomous organization. It runs itself. So this way similarly, let's say even if a department comes under control of elected body is not running that school. To run a school, you have to create a separate organization. You have to create a separate department. Now, whether that department is given power or not given power, that department is bureaucratic or non-bureaucratic. This you have to understand. Like tomorrow you make Jal Board under municipal corporation. But if you keep Jal Board as a bureaucratic body, so don't you think that Jal Board as an institution will not run efficiently just because it is under municipal corporation? Unless Jal Board itself is organized, structured in professional manner, it has professional staff and it's, let's say that its head is given certain autonomy to run that organization. Don't you think that merely bringing Jal Board under municipal corporation will not make it efficient? So it is not about, let's say that diminishing the role of elected body. Rather it is going one step further, let's say that you are going one step ahead of this, our debate. Our debate is still limited at are limited to what we say that how to empower municipal corporations. Once you will empower municipal corporations, so then debate will come that how to empower the organizations within municipal corporation. That way you have to see. It is not diminishing the power of elected bodies. Rather, devolution of power, decentralization should not necessarily mean empowerment of only Panchayati Raj institutions. Devolution of power, decentralization should mean empowerment of all local agencies. Right. This way you have to understand.
Sir, that education department as an institution would its head would be elected or
No.
it would be board type?
Not elected, board type, nominated, selected, that way you can say that. Head is not elected. Managerial devolution means not election, yes.
Even if it is a bureaucrat or bureaucratic body that is made, if it has managerial expertise, then it would be called that new localism or bureaucratic body?
No. It's not about new localism or old localism, let's say. Suppose that as of now we have chief medical officer. Chief medical officer appointed as head of the district hospital, means district health department, you can say, in a way he is the head. Now we expect that since he is an efficient person selected through that at a state level competitive examination, he has competency to run the health department efficiently. So we leave everything to him, on his leadership, on his decision making. This you can say that. But ultimately, let's say that the approach he adopts is bureaucratic, because he takes the decision and others are the followers. And there is no any, let's say that, participation of local bodies. Even he does not have autonomy. Whatever he does is that he does, so that is sanctioned by the state government or the central government. Like I have told in past also sarcastically that कि hospital का white wash भी करवाना होगा तो उसका भी fund state government से ही sanction करवाना पड़ेगा. इसलिए white wash कभी होता नहीं है. This way you understand. मतलब एक hospital को ये भी autonomy नहीं है कि वो white wash करवा सकता है. Isn't it? वो distemporary हो सकता है, but let's say that कि are you able to understand?
Yes.
Now, अब अगर उस white wash करवाने के लिए भी if you want to seek approval of fund from the state department, health secretary, मतलब बजट जब हेल्थ डिपार्टमेंट का सैंक्शन होगा तो इसलिए तो आप देखो ना तो कॉलेज का भी व्हाइट वॉश होता है, ना हॉस्पिटल होता है, ना पुलिस स्टेशन होता है.
So one time investment only.
So why you are not giving autonomy? पैसा खा जाएंगे. देखो basically the discourse is different ना, corrupt culture. तो government does not want to give autonomy because ये पैसे सारे खा जाएंगे. बट इसलिए वो न्यू लोकलिज्म हमारे यहाँ सक्सेसफुल नहीं होगा. And unless you bring this one, the things will not improve much. It's a dilemma. Right. Like suppose you are made chief medical officer, so you would like some autonomy in decision making. Okay, let's run this hospital. Right. Not by whims and fancies, but let's say that you need to have some powers to bring change. पहले तो आपको कुछ लोगों को डिसिप्लिन करना पड़ेगा. बहुत सारे लोग तो टाइम पर आते नहीं हैं. Right. How you will deal? You don't have power to defer their payment. Payment they will receive by the state government. It is not in your control. The remuneration is one most important factor. Right. This, think about. So, in case of new localism, the hospital has been given power to defer the payments. Right. Deduct the remuneration. This is called managerial autonomy. Because that is practiced in private organization. Why people are disciplined? Why people will reach at 10 sharp 10? पता चला बाहर खड़े हैं लोग आकर, ऑफिस अभी ओपन नहीं हुआ है, क्यों? पता है कि डिडक्ट हो जाएगा, बट गवर्नमेंट ऑफिस के सामने कभी आपने देखा है लोगों ने लाइन लगा खड़ा किया? Try to understand, I guess it is clear, isn't it? Is it clear? Are you able to understand?
Yes, sir.
So what is the star rating system?
It is just standard. स्टैंडर्ड उन्होंने डेवलप किया कि रेटिंग होगा तो स्टार, जैसे कि हम लोगों ने रिजल्ट फ्रेमवर्क डॉक्यूमेंट वी टोल्ड अबाउट एक्सीलेंट, वेरी गुड, गुड. That is how they develop rating standards. And best values means कि it's about the best practices, means the practices on the basis of that. These are the two terms they use in their initiative. So this, and rating was done by bureaucracy and autonomy was not given. So what they basically they did is they perverted the data and fact related so that they can meet the parameters of performance. This and local conditions, etc. So there are variations in local conditions, so they were not able to achieve the targets, and targets did not have link with local conditions. That is how, like say कि अगर आप यूनिफॉर्म फैक्टर अडॉप्ट करोगे तो हेल्थ से, so it will not work. ना, केरला is different, southern states are highly different. Means southern states they have more culture of naturopathy and other kind of, let's say, treatments. अगर साउदर्न स्टेट्स में आप देखोगे, नॉर्दर्न स्टेट्स में क्या है, मोर झाड़ फूक चलता है, ज्योतिष तावीज वगैरह ये चलता है, isn't it? So this is so culture you'll find is different. If you go to Gorakhpur, it has a special health problem. Japanese encephalitis, right? So you have to adopt area approach, that area approach, and that you cannot plan sitting in state or at Delhi. You have to give them some autonomy. Unless you give them some autonomy, you set the targets, they would not be able to change the situation that we have, and hundreds of children die in hospital. Which we say as, since population हमारे यहाँ इतना है कि वो matter नहीं करता है, right? This, but if it is a different countries, it will matter a lot. Anyhow, so let's write on this. Means you have to understand the difference, because on new localism, people have a wrong understanding about local bodies. There is a difference between this local body and this local body. This, and why we say it new localisms, it has a context, and it is more about managerial devolution. Still you understand, we do have also started such practice. You should know that कि hospitals are given now some autonomy for contracting, having some employee on contractual basis. जैसे लैब असिस्टेंट जो होते हैं, हाउस कीपिंग स्टाफ जो होते हैं, टेक्नीशियंस जो होते हैं, तो आजकल हॉस्पिटल्स कॉन्ट्रैक्ट पे रिक्रूट करते हैं. इट इज वी मेड वन केस स्टडी लास्ट ईयर, सो बट उसमें करप्शन है. इट वाज डन टू सेव कॉस्ट एंड ब्रिंग गुड पीपल. दिस इज हाउ, दैट इज हाउ वी कैन से दैट कि इन आवर कंट्री इट्स सक्सेस has challenge. This good people would like they should get autonomy. When they do not have autonomy, like a chief medical officer or one education inspector, but those people who are corrupt, for them autonomy does not matter. This, so that's why both way we have, and that's why ultimately we have to devolve today or tomorrow. We have some practice of participation of people, like say some examples we can give, like say we have given this civil society participation. So in urban area we have participation, that is called neighborhood governance. This practice is also known as neighborhood governance. Neighborhood means ki civil society in that area participate. So we have also some practice like called resident welfare association. Resident welfare association in urban areas. All urban areas in our country will have resident welfare association. And you know how resident welfare association manages urban areas related to regulation, traffic, you can say that parking, and this called solid waste management, means garbage collection, etc. Every area has resident welfare association members, and they have become integral part of urban governance. This is one example of new localism, right? Civil society participation in governance. So we do also have practices of new localism, but certainly not in terms of institutional way of new localism, that it is supported as a policy matter. It has become so popular that even, let's say, minister, it was promoted at state level minister, national level minister in UK. So some minister became popular because of that. One is called Milburn and another is called Miliband. So they were the local government minister in UK, and they popularized new localism under Tony Blair government. Thereafter there are some thinkers, let's say, started talking. Like say in our country you have Manrega and this Roy, what we say that? Aruna Roy, Nikhil Day. So Aruna Roy, Nikhil Day and Jadre, so they support devolution of power, social justice. Similarly in UK also, let's say, there is ministers like Milburn, Miliband, and there one, let's say, thinker is called Hazel Blair. So they promoted. Most recently it is being promoted by Cards and Novak. I guess it is right, I will correct it. Card. Means you should know some names to give it. Yes, Bruce Card. Cards and Novak. No need to write complete name. So let's write on this. So I will not dictate, means I will just summarize in this, because already we have written all this, enough to write. Means इतना याद रहेगा तो बहुत है. So new localism. New localism emerged in UK. In the backdrop of old localism. Old localism. Old localism. It is about managerial devolution of powers. Managerial devolution of powers to effectively achieve targets set at national level. Targets set at national level. Its success has resulted into a spread of new localism. A spread of new localism in different parts of the world. In different parts of the world. Including US. India has also some practices of new localism. New localism. Change the paragraph. New localism. New localism is a concept and practice which emerged in UK during Tony Blair time. During Tony Blair time. In his first tenure, there was initiative to achieve national targets at local level, but due to bureaucratic exercise it failed. Hence, in his second tenure, initiatives were taken to give managerial autonomy to local agencies. That is, local agencies, and its success came to be known as new localism. Change the paragraph. New localism is about managerial devolution of powers, to local bodies rather than political devolution of powers. The objectives are set at national level. By national government, and they are achieved at local level by local agencies which enjoy managerial autonomy as mentioned above. As mentioned above. Means we have mentioned somewhere like this. Let's try this. It is due to managerial devolution of powers. That local agencies were able to achieve the targets set at national level. the success of new localism, made it very popular, especially in health and education department, and it gave rise to concepts like neighborhood governance, civil renewal, and double devolution. So ये भी एक term है double devolution. Double devolution is basically, let's say that they are given managerial autonomy. This at the same time, let's say that at local level they can have local participation. So one, they have the managerial autonomy to run their organization. Second, that they are given also local level. At local level, let's to bring participation of civil society members and other local representatives. So because of that, we say it as double devolution.
So what is this civil renewal?
Civil renewal is that a new way of participation of people in process of governance at local level. Or let's say that it gives unbound opportunity for participation of people at local level in running local agencies. That is called civil renewal.
So how?
Yes?
What kind of participation in elections?
No. Participation, why you see only in election term? Participation, when we say board level management, a system of board for management running, so then it will incorporate, the board will have also local level stakeholders participation. It can be elected representative, it can be a civil society member, it can be any other such, let's say that member of the society at local level. So that way we can consider. Similarly, let's say that they can subcontract the functioning of their organization. So more and more opportunity for people to participate in the process of running hospital, running schools. This is called civil renewal. Means if you give more and more, let's say local level participate, means devolve power to local agencies. And when you devolve power to local agencies, let's say that we can consider Gorakhpur, and then Gorakhpur hospital is given autonomy that it can manage and run at the hospital and take measures to address the problems of Japanese encephalitis. So don't you think that the hospital will try to have participation of local level people? And now that local level people can be anyone. A person can be a teacher who may have done lots of studies related to that. A person can be a civil society member who may have done lots of studies related to Japanese encephalitis. A person may have studied it. So participation is not limited to only elected representatives or some stakeholder. Rather, let's say participation is about that you can bring the best people in that area in the process of management. Like say what government is doing in case of Gati Shakti or let's say Mission Karm Yogi. In Mission Karm Yogi there will be a Prime Minister Human Resource Council. And similarly, let's say that in case of education policy, there will be also a, let's say, education authority in which Prime Minister is the chairperson, National Education Commission. So National Education Commission headed by Prime Minister. You know the composition of that members. What are the members? The members will be that the acclaimed academicians from national international level. So it gives opportunity to acclaimed, let's say that persons to participate in the process of, let's say that education policy in a country. Gati Shakti also several teams will be formed. And when you form that several teams headed by a minister, then the team will take the help of experts from national level also and international level also, related to the particular task or project given to that team. So that brings more and more participation. So participation should not be seen more from only democratic perspective. Right? You have a say in that, or election perspective. Rather, participation is that you bring also best mind in governance of that organization. So new localism is about this type of participation, and that is how it opens opportunity for the people to participate in the process of running urban areas or running departments, agencies at local level. Can we say this?
So can we say that all the three terms are almost similar?
Like
Neighborhood governance, civil renewal.
yes, they are synonymously you means when you read new localism. So although एक तो पहले मिलेगा नहीं कुछ material उससे related. So but whatever the material is yet. So whatever you get, so these terms will be there, right? This kind of terms. This very scarce resources we have on new localism. You have lots of resources on new localism, but they are so generic way of written. Like say civil renewal in Italy, civil renewal in US, and they will keep writing this and that thing, which hardly helps in our, let's say, civil service means there, let's say, because substance is there, it is country specific, but lots of literatures written on new localism practices in different countries. Right. Anyhow, let's write on this. So success in health, and it has also given rise to what we have written, the term we have written, double devolution. Right. Neighborhood governance is about, right, neighborhood governance is about participation of civil society members in city management, like resident welfare association in India, It has its presence in all urban areas, and it has participation in management of urban affairs, including sanitation, right, solid waste management, management and regulation of parks, parkings, traffic, etc. It has its presence in every neighborhood. That's why it is considered neighborhood governance. Also known as joined up governance, co-governance, CEO co-governance. Co-governance. Let's application of new localism. Application of new localism. Due to its success in UK, on the one hand, and on the other, due to global local debate, urban governance has been undergoing tremendous changes and most of the Western countries have experienced managerial devolution of powers. Be it US, Italy, Australia, even India. Like the practices like smart city mission, bus rapid transit system, municipal bond, like ultra localism. That is, today's city management demands greater level of managerial professionalism. Rather than bureaucratic approach. The urban department should be run by infusing ideals of new public management. And it has become a trend. Across the world. That's why new localism has been characterized as a civil renewal, a new way of governance. Let's change paragraph. Difference between new localism and local self-governance in India. Although both promote devolution and decentralization of powers. But new localism is about managerial devolution, and its focus is away from local self-government. Its focus is away from local self-government. It is about empowerment of local agencies, departments, local agencies and departments like health department, education department. Local self-government on the other hand is about political, administrative, legal devolution of powers. At the same time, concentration of powers at local level. Concentration of powers at local level in the hand of local self-government. Local self-government. Local self-government. However, in the context of urban local bodies, India also has managerial approach that gradually government has been promoting managerial devolution and debureaucratization in the management of urban departments, be it transportation, health, housing authority or Jal board. For instance, Delhi's Jal board has been debureaucratized and it has more managerial style of functioning. Right. However, still the focus remains in local self-governance. Still the focus remains in local self-governance on devolution of powers to local self-governments like urban local bodies and Panchayati Raj institutions. Is it clear? So let's write criticisms. It is about infusion of NPM approach, which negative consequences have been experienced by public administration. That there is post-NPM development. Next, it results into balkanization balkanization in terms of ultra-pluralism, segmented approach rather than whole of the government approach. It is more suitable to countries having homogeneous culture or a relative stability in development A country which is in transition demands different approach. Next, it also depends on ecology. Like in India, local self-governments have been idealized. Therefore, it would be difficult to move away from such idealization. Next, its success depends on performance accountability, which demands a managerial type of ecosystem. India still has bureaucratic dominance in its ecosystem. No. So पैसे लेके भाग जाएंगे लोग. We made a case study on, basically it is related to hospital in Bihar. So वहाँ पे contractual employees होते हैं, means कि hospital can have on contract basis some technical and housekeeping staffs, because to minimize their cost. What happened that a person was hired on contract. He worked for 6 months without salary. When contract was entered, so there was no proper documentation. नहीं होता है, जाओ काम करो, देख लेंगे, isn't it? So he started working, a person started working, and his name was not officially in record. And after 6 months, due to nexus, the hospital did not want to continue his service, because they want to recruit other people on the basis of their nexus, corruption, all these things. Therefore, he is told that your service is terminated. He demands salary. He demands his salary of 6 months. Hospital says that you have not been officially recruited. So the person reaches to grievance redressal officer. The officer who was grievance redressal, he shared this story. Who is our student posted. So he shared कि क्या होता है. फिर उसके बाद क्या हुआ कि he told that कि even if official record नहीं है, but वो daily जब ऑफिस में आ रहा है तो उसका attendance तो है आपके पास. You have attendance, and when there is attendance, then it is official record. You have to pay him. He was threatened. He started getting threats from higher level, you can say that, authorities, including MLA of that area. Right? कि क्या एक आदमी के चक्कर में पड़े हो, हम तुम्हारा ये खराब कर देंगे, वो खराब. तो he told her कि no, अगर आप नहीं पे करोगे तो I will go for setting an inquiry panel. So that is how you will find this. So culture is that कि हमारे यहाँ भी तो culture है ना, sorry to say that, culture ये है कि आप TA बढ़ा के हर चीज़ में, मिलिट्री में भी culture है, हर जगह ये culture है. आप कहीं गए, पता चला कि आपने अपने रिलेटिव के यहाँ स्टे किया, होटल का बिल बना के दे दिया. ऐसे ही होता है ना. कल्चर. सो मतलब हर आदमी, गवर्नमेंट इज ए समथिंग, लेट से जितना मनी. सो कल्चर ऑफ ऑल दीज थिंग्स, जहाँ पे ये कल्चर अभी तक बढ़ा नहीं कि इवन इफ यू वर्क इन, बिकॉज आई नो इवन माई ब्रदर, सॉरी टू से दैट, so I see that how they do that. So when he comes in Delhi, so he will stay at our house, but he will write the bill of hotel. Right. Anyhow, so the question is that these kind of things happen. A culture that you have, that culture has not seen, means it's rejection. But there should be rejection like this. And that's why it is very difficult to implement in our country. Managerial culture नहीं है, जहाँ पे we have already told that कि unless you develop a culture where people should believe in earning by work, they should establish a link between work and pay. Right. और जब तक ये नहीं होगा to some extent, ऐसा नहीं कि western countries में corruption नहीं है, but then it, let's say that कि it is not in that way the way it is here. Anyhow, let's write further. However, new localism is emerging as a new way of urban local governance. Since global local debate also promotes localism. Globalization has also worked as a contributory factor. And Cards and Novak in their book New Localism consider it as 21st century model of governance at local level. Since cities are facing new types of challenges in terms of, first, solid waste management, water scarcity, air pollution, climate change, climate change, urban flooding. Therefore, management of city demands institutional pluralism, managerialism and participation of people, including civil society. That is, cities cannot be run without managerial devolution of powers. At local level. Although the local agencies should work under elected bodies like municipal corporation. And that is what we finish this. So just give me 5 minutes coming. There is one personal. Yes. So let's write this. In that Saturday class, what we dealt last, do you remember? PSUs we have finished. Planning we were dealing. Planning we were talking.
New strategy for PSUs was the last one.
Acha, PSUs we finished, right? PSUs.
We told that we have some discussions left only for half an hour, we'll take it. Then we'll take the new chapter.
Law and order. Yes, take care. Tomorrow we'll call other batch also. Other batch also for combined class. Because now we will teach extra class for them also.
We call this new localism as a post-NPM development as well.
Not post-NPM development, it is NPM-led development. Its base is in NPM.
Was it NPM more about privatization and this is not?
Yes, it is not, but yes, you understand when we'll take urban planning, so means next time, today we'll take decentralized planning. So when we'll take urban planning, here we'll tell you that how, let's take the different departments, let's think about our departments, different departments in urban areas. Let's take Jal Board. Or let's say that DDA. This, or we have water and sewerage board. This Similarly, solid and waste management department. This, how exactly they are being run nowadays? It's bureaucratic. So appointments will be bureaucratic, running them in a bureaucratic manner. But do you think that we can achieve urban governance standards by this bureaucratic style of running such departments? This is what they have done. Basically, Western countries, they have made them very professional, like professional in the sense that their accountability to performance or performance accountability. They will have professional staff. The work culture will be more of business type because they are not directly dealing with public. No? They are dealing with development of something, management of something. Okay. So it's not like something, let's say post office or bank. It's more about, let's say, they are developing something, housing development. The housing development, how it should be, why it should be bureaucratic? You should have a professional staff. So efficient staff. So that should be similarly. Let's say, so if you look into Delhi Jal Board nowadays, so Delhi Jal Board is more professional organization. It is, although its status and perception about Jal Board is not still good. But Delhi Jal Board as an organization, it is headed by one manager level functionary. So he is a professional functionary rather than a bureaucratic functionary, the person who is the head of the Delhi Jal Board. So we cannot improve urban governance unless you give them certain managerial powers. Okay. Even if you talk that there should be a directly elected mayor and they should work under mayor. So yes, they should work under mayor. But we will address one problem by having direct election of mayor. Overall governance of the city. But merely direct election of mayor will not improve Jal Board. Try to understand. Jal Board has organizational problem, internal organization. Right. It will address inter-organizational problem. But what is intra-organizational problem? How intra-organizational? How the organization can be run efficiently? The organization can be run efficiently only when you have managerial autonomy or professionalism. So this way, let's say that even if we criticize new public management or it emerged in their country first, so Tony Blair, so 1997, but its root is not only Tony Blair, how the idea came, so its root goes to Margaret Thatcher time itself. Margaret Thatcher time itself, when the privatization started, citizen charter, etc., when they started. So its root is linked to citizen charter also. Citizen charter means you want to have quality of service. How will bring quality of service? So that's why it is test located in new public management rather than, let's say, post NPA model. This. And as we told that, Niti Aayog has given a report which says that planning के लिए, urban planning के लिए course होना चाहिए university में. So that they should have expertise in urban planning because we don't have skilled urban planners. Yes.
So we can say that new localism is one step ahead of old. Like how
yes.
the department should function under a mayor.
Yes, even it is one step ahead of democratic decentralization. Since we are not able to solve democratic decentralization, so we are trying to focus on that aspect. But once you will do democratic decentralization, so then the focus will shift to further decentralization. And further decentralization, that how the different departments can be run efficiently. Right. We do not have focus. District. When we ask question, people also do not understand. District magistrate, and he is a general head. And then there are functional head. What we have been talking, the functional heads, area function dichotomy. Our debate remains at whether it should be a specialized head or we should have one head. Our debate is not whether the functional heads are functioning properly. Wait, the debate has not shifted there, that whether health department, the day when we will talk that health department should function efficiently. The first institutional arrangement between them is not clear. So when it is not clear, so then how can you talk on this level? So once you settle with this, then the talk happens on that. But since urban local bodies, you cannot wait for that. The urban local areas, even if it has not happened, but this is happening. This, even if mayor level reforms we have not brought, but we have gone into reforming them. Because it's like you cannot wait for. Like say when a special purpose vehicle has been created, the special purpose vehicle is managerial. This, so a smart city mission. So this way we should understand.
So then we should support this idea. Like
Yes.
NPM style of functioning and
Yes. It should be supported, although they should work with the overall democratic control. Because there is no other way of development. There is no another model of development unless it is conceptualized.
But sir, we have criticized NPM also first. Because the post
No, but even if we criticize NPM, but it was not completely rejected. We told the relevance of new public man. How you want to achieve efficiency, it is only NPM way. How you want to achieve accountability, it is only democratic way. There should be marriage between both. We cannot achieve efficiency without incorporation of managerialism.